What's up, everybody? It's me, Sergio. I'm with Mobility Direct. Welcome to our YouTube channel. Thanks for stopping by. In today's video, we're going to compare two of our top selling heavy-duty off-road mobility scooters known as the Baja Wrangler 2 and the Afikim S4HD. But before we get started, like always, we're going to cue in to some epic action shots. Welcome back, folks. I hope you enjoyed those action shots as much as I enjoyed making them. So let's go ahead and talk about what this video is going to be about. As you can see, these scooters are filthy. Okay, this is not a typical video where I'm going to tell you all the good things about them so that you can call us and buy them from us. No, I'm going to give you the bad, the ugly, and the good of each model and tell you what makes each one special. Now, before we get too far into this video, I do have to take the time to tell you about our free product catalog. It's going to have our latest products, discount codes, and a ton of information about our company. So if you want a free copy, just go to our website, mobilitydirect.com, click on the green button at the top of every page that says free catalog, fill out the simple short form that you see on the screen now, and you should get one in the mail within 1 to 2 weeks tops. You can also just click right there at the top right-hand corner of the screen where it says get free catalog. Super easy to do it that way, or call the number below. Our non-commissioned sales experts will process the catalog request for you, and they'll also answer any questions that you may have that we didn't cover in this video. Now, I'm not going to go over the specifications, okay, but I will throw them on the screen for just a moment in a comparison chart so you can see the specs, pause, go back at any point in time to this part of the video. The specs are pretty comparable. The main difference is that the S4HD is going to have a 600-pound weight capacity versus the Baja Wrangler 2 is going to have a 450-pound weight capacity. So if you need something that can hold up to 600 pounds, whether it's for your own weight or the stuff that you're going to carry with you, the Afikim S4HD is definitely going to take the lead when it comes to maximum weight capacity. The other main difference in specifications is that the Wrangler is going to do around 11 miles per hour, give or take, depending on the terrain and the load, and the Afikim S4HD is just going to be slightly over 9 miles per hour. However, you can upgrade to the upgraded high-speed motor package, and that's going to give you just around 11 to 12 miles per hour. So they're both going to be very comparable as long as you get the upgraded speed motor package on the Afikim S4HD. Now, as you can see, they are filthy. I use these every single day. Take a look around you. This property is not a golf course. It's got mud, puddles, and we're gonna go on some steep inclines. We're gonna go on some really rugged terrain, jump some tree logs, go over some ditches and trenches that we've built for drainage to see which one handles better. Now, I will tell you, in my personal opinion, having been used these two scooters for years, that the Wrangler is definitely gonna be able to tackle a little bit more rugged terrain. However, it's not going to have as smooth as a ride as the Afikim S4HD. The Afikim S4HD, I don't know if it's just the suspension or the bigger tires, but it just feels a lot smoother. And with the double seat here, which I have and I use every single day with the family, I take my wife, the dog, and the baby on this ride, no problem, because again, it holds 600 pounds and it's super smooth. It doesn't ever feel like it's going to tip over. You barely feel any of the bumps in the road. Honestly, the baby has fallen asleep on my lap while riding this thing. Now, the Wrangler, on the other hand, it's just a little bit more top heavy. You can see the seat is much, much higher. Look how tall this seat is, okay? It's like right at my pocket knife. And if I move over to the Afikim S4HD, you can see my pocket knife's at the top of the armrest. So the seat's much lower. So the center of gravity and the center of mass is much lower to the ground. When I'm taking turns full speed on the Wrangler 2, honestly, sometimes I have to counterbalance the weight and move the top part of my body in the opposite direction because I do feel like it might tip over, and that's one of the downfalls to the Baja Wrangler 2. Now, I'm not just gonna bash the Wrangler 2. I'll tell you some of the downfalls of the Afikim S4HD. When I try to go over some really rough terrain, look at the tire difference in the front here. We've got about a 3.5 inch wide tire. Look at the Wrangler's tires, much wider. There's like 5 inches. So when you're going over really rough terrain, ditches, trenches, the Wrangler's gonna actually be a little bit more powerful. It has 2 motors on it, whereas the Afikim has 1. So when it comes to the maximum peak wattage of the motor system, the Wrangler is gonna have about 5,000 peak watts, whereas the Afikim, they don't really disclose the exact peak watt motor wattage by the manufacturer, but it has a 1,600 watt motor, peaks out at probably around 25 to 3,000 watts. So you've got a lot more, significantly more power on the Wrangler 2. And if you're someone who's a little bit more capable of handling rough terrain, you've got more hand dexterity, this is probably gonna be okay for you. But if you're buying something like this for grandpa and you feel like he's a little bit balance impaired and has stability issues, Afikim S4 all day. The HD model is gonna just have the upgraded electronics, 100 amp breaker. It's gonna have the golf tires in the back, and it's just gonna have thicker wires, so it's gonna be able to handle heavier terrains, better inclines. But you can get the standard S4 with the regular tires, regular electronics package. It's gonna perform just fine. The HD holds 600 pounds, the standard holds 500 pounds. Keep that in mind. And that's another thing that I'm gonna tell you about the Afikims. They are extremely customizable. You can get a weather canopy. Soon you're gonna be able to get a solar powered weather canopy that charges on its own while you're out and about. Especially if you're in a state like Florida, you're gonna be able to charge it while you're out and about. You don't have to really worry about charging too much. You can get upgraded tires, tons of seat options, including the 2-person seat, which I absolutely love. It's 33 inches wide. You can get all kinds of upgrades on the Afikim. So check out our website listing. I'm gonna put the link in the description, and I'll throw it on the top right-hand corner of the screen right now so you can see all the customizable options. I'm telling you, the S4, it's crazy how many options it has, whereas the Wrangler 2 really doesn't have any upgrade options as of right now. However, we did go to a trade show, and Pride Mobility gave us a sneak peek demonstration of their soon-to-be released weather canopy. So I know they're gonna have a new weather canopy and a lot of new accessories that you can attach to the hitch receiver on the back. Now, they do have hitch receivers on the standard seats for the Afikim, but the dual wide seat right now doesn't have a hitch receiver. In the future, they are gonna add one. So a few other quick things. As far as the service agreement and the warranty, Afikim is gonna offer something really special that honestly trumps the Baja Wrangler 2, and that is a 3-year in-home repair contract. And that's separate from the parts warranty. The parts warranties are basically the same, but the service agreement is gonna cover in-home service repairs in the event of any sort of defect that takes place with the warranty for the parts. So if you have a defective part that goes bad, as long as it's approved by your dealer for a warranty claim, the technician will be dispatched to your home to solve that warranty approved issue for a period of 3 years, whereas the Wrangler comes with a 1-year in-home service contract. So that's a big peace of mind. I think that shows really how confident Afikim is in their engineering and the quality of their product. And I will tell you, being one of the lead technicians for many years, the Afikim has an extremely low repair request rate across the board. The Wrangler is a little bit higher. We have gotten a few calls regarding several different things, the controllers, the motors acting up, and that could just be due to misuse and abuse. However, I'll tell you right now, I abuse the heck out of both of these models, and they can hang with the abuse that I give them, okay? So I'm not gonna say that one or the other is better quality in terms of the reliability, but I will tell you across the board from our customer service team, I did get a little survey, and the repair request rate on the Afikims are at the lowest level across all brands. They are made in Israel, and they just have been known to last. They've been around for over 50 years. I've had some customers call, they said they've had their Afikim for over 40 years, and all they've ever needed to do was change the battery every 2 to 3 years. Now, we do offer lithium battery upgrades that come with an 11-year warranty, which is pretty awesome. And the only other thing I could really say that is gonna make a big difference here, if you're interested in storage options, there's not much on the Wrangler. You can put a front basket that's like a normal scooter basket and a rear cage style basket. And the Afikim, same thing. There's just a little locking front storage, and you can get a locking rear storage as well. Other than that, they're both gonna perform really, really well. The Wrangler is gonna have an 8-inch ground clearance. So you've got a lot more clearance underneath the frame, whereas the Afikim has a 5-inch. So again, going back to what I was saying, the bigger tires, the better ground clearance is gonna make it perform better on extremely rough terrain. With that being said, we're gonna go ahead and start doing some torture tests and see which one handles better in certain environments that I would consider to be really extreme. Let's go ahead and move on over to those spots. All right, folks, so if you're familiar with our YouTube channel, you've probably seen this environment many times. We have tons of videos, more than any other YouTube channel in the industry. So make sure you subscribe. Not only will you get notified when we come out with new comparison videos and educational videos, you're also gonna get automatically entered into our giveaway. So, by the way, one thing I forgot to mention, this has 2 cup holders. Okay, I've got 2 bottles of water. This one has 1. Not a big deal, but I thought I'd mention that because it's really hot and we're about to do some off-road testing. So, here we recently did some construction. We had an excavator come out and trench and bury some culverts. We have a little transfer ditch here, so the water is gonna come out when it floods in the rainy season, and then it's gonna go through another culvert and empty out into the canal. Otherwise, this entire front yard right now would be flooded because we're in the rainy season in South Florida and it gets pretty crazy. Now, I haven't had the time to clean everything up to make it look pretty, which is perfect because I want to really take the time to use this nasty terrain and beat the heck out of these scooters to see which one performs better on really loose sand. Right here in South Florida, our dirt's not too good and it's really just kind of sandy. It's super loose right now, it's not compact, and that's really where most mobility scooters struggle to get through. So we're gonna take both these scooters one at a time through the same path to see how they perform on some of these really rugged terrains. Look over here. You see where the excavator kind of lifted up and dug this ditch? It's completely uneven. I'm gonna come from right here, right in the path that I'm walking, go over all these ditches. Hopefully I won't get attacked by a gator or a swamp monster. I'm gonna make a U-turn and hopefully avoid falling into that ditch. Come right back over here with both the scooters. Let's see what happens. All right, folks, do not try this at home. I'm gonna go around this ditch and hopefully not fall in or get attacked by a gator with the Wrangler 2. Dang! Look at that. All right, so that turn was a little tight. I'm gonna back it up a little bit and I'm gonna make it through this really rough spot and hopefully not get stuck. Look at that, look at that. That, my friends, is impressive. Those 2 motors are making it possible for both wheels to not get hung up in that sand where it's extremely uneven terrain. And I've got to say, my confidence is in the Wrangler 2 when it comes to terrain like that. Now we're going to go in the Afikim S4HD, which is the most powerful option they offer, and we're going to see if it can hang with it. All right, folks, Afikim S4HD, same path. Let's see what happens. This is really rough terrain here, folks. All right, so it made it over the first part. Oh boy, I'm nervous. Don't beat me up, Afikim, if it don't make it. Oh, it did. Oh, yeah. All right. So honestly, I'm surprised. I didn't know if it would make it. I've never gone over this because this is all new construction stuff, but it did. So you know, while we're here, there's a really steep part. I'm gonna do one more test. We're gonna start with the Afikim and let's see if the Wrangler can hang afterwards. So I'm gonna go in the opposite direction of the path, and cameraman's gonna do his best to follow with me and not fall into the ditch or, you know, break his ankle. So I'm gonna go up this ditch, same ditch. Now check out all this stuff. Oh. Let me back it up, get some speed. Here we go. Go back a little bit more. Please do not bite me. Lake Placid gator. Go, go, go. Go, damn. All right, so it is hanging even in those extremely, extremely steep little hills that we've created when digging up all that dirt. I'm gonna go with the Wrangler one more time just to show you adventurists out there what these things are capable of if you're going on nature trails or hikes that have extremely rough terrain. Now, we don't have snow, but we've had customers tell us that these scooters do handle the snow pretty well. So let's do the same path here. And honestly, this is kind of like snow because it's super muddy, super wet. Okay, that was not the same exact path, but let's go back and go through the same exact path this time. Ready? Here we go. Oh yeah. Too steep, too rough, too rough. Hope that wasn't poison ivy, y'all. All right, so what can I say? These two scooters are absolutely beasts when it comes to going on extremely rough terrain, folks. And I've got some other shots from previous shots that we've done in the past going on extremely overgrown brush. They can handle pretty much 4 foot, you know, tall grass and saplings that are over 2 inches, 3 inches in diameter. They knock them over like it's a bulldozer. I'm honestly so happy that I have these two scooters to use on a day-to-day basis. There's no other scooters that I would honestly feel as confident in than the Wrangler 2 and the Afikim S4HD. Now I'm gonna go ahead and transition into some shots of some inclines to show you what they're made of when it comes to inclines. All right, folks, so here we have the Afikim S4HD on a very big hill at a park. And I gotta tell you, this thing did not struggle at all going up the hill. We even did a second run with 2 people on the scooter, over a 450-pound load. It does not struggle at all. Now, the Wrangler is also one of the only scooters that does not struggle to go up really steep hills. In fact, it's one of the few scooters that can jump a curb. Not that I recommend trying it. I don't recommend ever trying to jump a curb with any scooter. It's dangerous, but the Wrangler seems to have a little bit more power when it comes to going uphill. It just seems almost effortless. I think that they both are going to handle pretty much the same types of inclines, but for what we have in Florida, which is not many options when it comes to hills or mountains, they both seem to perform very, very well. They did not struggle at all. So if you need something that can climb hills, I think both of these are great options. If you own one of these and you live in a very hilly state like Washington or California, let us know what you think in the comments below. Overall, I think these are 2 of the best off-road mobility scooters. I use it all the time, like I've said time and time again, around the property. I carry my tools, I carry debris, I carry firewood. I do a lot of controlled burns, and I need to sometimes attach a fishing beach cart to the back. Both scooters can carry a pretty heavy load. I've carried a agricultural sprayer filled with over 50 gallons of water. I use it to do basic stuff too. It's just a lot of fun. No gas, no high maintenance. You know, these are really easy to maintain, and they don't take up a lot of space in your garage like a golf cart. They're also about 1/3 of the price of a golf cart nowadays. I would like to also point out that they will work on the beach, depending on the type of sand that you have. In Southwest Florida, where I live, the sand is pretty compact, and the Wrangler handles really, really well. The Afikim does too, but because the tires are wider on the Wrangler, I'm a little more confident in its beach performance on softer sand. With that being said, folks, I'm going to conclude this video. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, everyone, have a great day.